standings in a bit. I'll actually start giving you guys the links in a bit. But here we are, guys, in the podcast. We are live and recording. My name is Mighty Rye. I've been hosting these things for the past 3 episodes, and here with me is the is it both of the Murk teams or just one?
Both of them.
Yeah,
Mark
both.
is for Storm. I'm for Nimbus.
Yeah, I play for Nimbus.
So introduce yourselves, guys. This is the beginning towards the end, 2 hours long. Introduce your guys. Let us know who we're talking to or who's speaking. I mean.
All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead first. I'm DarkPie. I am the co-owner of Murk Esports. I'm the owner of Murk Nimbus, and yeah, I've been involved in the amateur scene now for a few years. So I'm glad that I've come on over to PRL to compete.
I'm Bloodmurk. I'm owner of Murk Esports. I'm also owner of Murk Storm. And yeah, I've been in the amateur scene for a couple of years also. Pretty cool.
I'm Kallliii. I'm the ADC for Murk Nimbus, not Murk Storm, Murk Nimbus. I've been playing since around Season 1. I stopped playing League of Legends around Season 5, went to Overwatch, came back to League Season 9, and been playing tournaments ever since Season 9 pretty much.
All right, so
Imagine going to Overwatch.
I know, right? I wanted to mention that, but I kind of don't want to give them shade either. I mean, and it's
True.
it's their
it was
gaming company. They're making Overwatch too. I'm not sure how they're gonna do that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Why don't they just update the original? Well, whatever. I don't play Overwatch at all or anymore that I used to. Not gonna lie. But guys, this is just something of a recap in these podcasts. I mean, if you guys know a lot all the way to like day 1, that would be amazing. But let's recap what happened not in week 5, week 6. So in week 6, I want to cut through the first 3 divisions and go straight into live division because yesterday was insane. Who was there for yesterday's games?
I was able
was.
to watch a lot of it.
So-
Yeah.
I obviously watched because Storm was playing too, so whenever Storm's on stream, I try to watch it.
Yeah, I was watching as well.
Well, what'd you guys think?
Dude,
Of the whole league or of Storm specifically?
No, what happened in yesterday's stream? Like, it wasn't it the hyped up matches that we've
Yeah.
gotten?
okay, so I thought Jag was gonna win straight up. Like I think Black Jaguars is the best team in that division, or like whenever they're at their best, I think they're the best. But like, I don't know if they're inconsistent or if the other teams are just like, if they're the ones that are inconsistent, and maybe Black Jaguars just like super consistent, but then the other teams just like show these moments where they're just absolutely insane and they beat on Jaguars. But like, I honestly thought Black Jaguars were about to go 2-0 the other day and they were going to take the sole spot. But I think it's Tempest is first and there's a 3-way tie for second, right?
Yeah,
Is
there's a 3-way tie. There's a bunch of head-to-heads, but Goth Boy are the ones that don't have a head-to-head winnings over Black Jaguar.
Yeah, they're 1-1.
Yeah.
Or are they? I think they're 1-1. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have to check back on that. I mean, I can do it right now. I'm not. It's just that since there's a 3-way tie, we gotta check to see if there's a 3-way head-to-head, or do one of
Yeah.
these teams have a 0 and 2 on the head-to-head?
I thought they were all 1-1, and because that's what everyone was saying in Twitch chat yesterday. They're like, holy shit, there's a 3-way tie because they're all 1-1 together. And I was like, dude, that's kind of insane, actually.
Right.
Like, I think Life Division is like one of the weaker. I think it's probably the weakest division, but it's
Dang.
still pretty hype. You know what I mean? Like, it's still actually like insane.
Yeah, I gotta second that. I definitely think Life Division's the weakest division right now.
Dang.
But looking at the no shade, I just don't
Nah,
think that
just kidding.
yeah. But looking at it again now, I'm kind of, I don't know. I feel like Final 5 and Black Jaguar Gaming are going to be the ones to go with Tempest to the Final 3. I don't think Gothboy Click has it in them.
All right, so Goth Boy has a 1-1 against Final 5, and Black Jaguar have no 1-1 against Final 5. So that's why Final Five are like ahead of these two teams, because if it does end up going for tiebreakers, let's say these standings don't change, right, and we still have a three-way head to head three-way tie. It's a little bit confusing because Black Jaguar will go against Gothboy, right, for the head to head. But if Black Jaguar wins, they kind of put both of the teams out of playoffs. You know what I mean? Because there's no way Black Jaguars can play against Final Five for the third spot or the second spot because they don't have a single win against them. So right now, I think what it is, let me see. Who is actually above them? No, there's no one above them. So technically Final Five is second. Three Black Jaguar and Gothboy Click are fighting for third. That's all it is right now. So
Yeah, and I think Black Jaguar Gaming beats Gothboy Click in that head to head like 8 times out of 10.
it's been like a 50-50, I think. It's so weird because Gothboy Click last week in week 5, they didn't do so well. Actually, it didn't impress a lot of us. They did win against the weaker teams too, so that's where it was the least impressive. And then now in week 6, they kind of like tidied up somehow, right, or in some way, and they actually performed. So it's a little bit confusing here. Um, what do you guys think about Soul Division from week 6?
Okay, before we completely go into that, because they were part of the show match, right? Like
Yeah.
Akuma Katanas were part of the show match yesterday. Can I just say that I think that was probably the most like underwhelming show match I've ever watched because they tried to do funnel, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude? Like, are you really about to pick funnel right now? Like, why are you trolling? There's no way they're trying to do this."
Let's have a show
Oh.
match to bring people in and show them how fun Soul Division is, and we're gonna funnel. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't have a
It,
ring to it.
I was like me personally, I was expecting a real match. I wanted to see a real match.
Oh, 100%.
Death
I
card.
wanted a rematch too.
I know there's a lot of shade and a lot of this and that. Death cards are better, but the thing is that I haven't seen a real match between those two, and I'm not sure if Kumakatanas are dodging at this point. But until then, you can never say they're better than a Katanas until we officially get a real match. I mean, that's like kind of like the downplay of that, right? Like, I still think Akuma Katanas is a strong team, but without a single real match, you know, I can't compare the two just yet.
Yeah.
But
It's
what else do you guys think about it? Yeah.
About Soul Division in general?
Oh yeah, in general, show match, whatever you guys want to speak about. What's on your minds?
I'm really surprised that Akuma Katanas are first in Soul. I definitely thought it would be Ignitas, Ignitus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ignitus. And then Essentia. I kind of put Akuma like fourth in the division. I just don't think that Katanas are that good of a team, and they kind of, I don't know. For me, it always feels like they're getting ahead on cheese strats that are going to catch up to them in the playoffs.
What funnel? What?
Yeah,
No,
it was
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Storm's has Storm scrimmed against Katanas.
I have no idea. We have, but
I'm not
Storm has.
sure. I can look it up.
I'm pretty, because I don't know if both of our teams have scrimmed against them. I know Nimbus has, and that went pretty.
I mean, I don't want to I don't want to be VM and show results or anything. So
True.
I don't want to leak results or leak like anything about it.
Just leak them in banter chat and let it all just like do its own
Let
thing.
it simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer.
I mean,
there.
okay, well, I can leak one thing about it because they did it on stream. They tried to do funnel against us in a scrim, and we just straight up canceled the scrim after that.
Oh.
Like we literally said this is a waste of time. We are never gonna play against funnel. Like it's not good practice.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, and then they pulled it out in the show match, and I was like, shit, maybe Katanas actually will start playing funnel.
How about Thunder? I think was it Thunder that you guys thought was gonna be first instead of Katanas?
No, I thought
Thunder.
Ignitus would be first.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I thought
my bad.
Ignitus would be first too. I put Thunder in second, so they're right where I expected.
Yeah.
I just didn't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving Akuma enough credit. I just didn't think that they were a top 3 team in Seoul Division.
I
I
thought
also had-
Ignitus was gonna be second.
Oh, really? Did you think Thunder was going to be first then?
Yeah, Thunder first, Ignite second, and then Katana's third. But right now, like the way the Soul Division is with all of the forfeits and free wins, it
Yeah,
it,
it's
might
yeah, it's
might
pretty-
incidentally kick someone out. Like because Rising Dawn could have gotten a couple wins off of teams that need to fight for that third spot. TFT Land could have gotten a couple wins too. And Bellfire as well. I believe they all could have gotten a couple of teams on that middle pack and not really the top pack. But because they're not there, the middle pack is just left with all these free wins, and it's like it kind of sucks. I'm pretty sure they know about this too. Like they didn't really fight for the spot that they're gonna get. Not saying it's not well deserved. And if you land in whatever spot you are, you fought for it for the past 6 to 7 weeks. It's just at this point, at this end, like Recon 5, they just had to play one game, they won it, and now they get 3 wins after that. I don't know, it's a little bit disappointing in Soul Division. Shame on you, Soul.
Yeah. But I do think Accenture Thunder could be first. They could be the highest seed. Because I got faith in my girl Shuggies. She a real one.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
McShuggets is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's probably one of the better players in Soul Division, as far as just like consistency goes.
Really? She hasn't been playing too well on stream. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I agree, and I'm saying that knowing that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of pressure on stream. You don't know that.
Well, okay. So
That's fair.
one thing I did do, I talked to Akuma's been doing these in-houses, and it's just like anyone can join, right? Like a bunch of different teams have been joining. I don't know if it's supposed to be top secret. If it is, unlucky. I just leaked it. But like every team that it's just like 60 people in the Discord or 70 people or whatever. So like all teams are joining Soulbound, whatever. Like everyone's joining. In Soulbound, they had Tea Time as their coach. The team that like the people was playing with. I don't want to leak their names. They were Soulbound. So it could have been any of the Soulbound teams. But they basically said they hated Tea Time's drafts. So I'm not saying that could be a reason that Essentia Thunder isn't first or like Essentia Lightning isn't first. But, maybe Tea Time's fucking up the drafts. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Draft is really big, guys. Take it serious. That's all I'm saying.
You're toxic.
You're toxic.
That's why I don't like, personally, that's why I don't like Life Division. I think their drafts are really bad.
You're toxic.
What are you talking about? Our drafts are perfect in Life Division.
Are they?
Yeah.
Perfect for Life Division.
I mean, if you want, we can go back to the games and talk about them because they were pretty bad drafts.
Well, hold on. We don't have to go back in time like that.
Not too far back. Just kind of chrono break back where you started doing good, or where you started looking good, and then back there. Okay, body division. You guys are not in body division. We're almost there. Body division. What do you guys think? Week 6 recap on that.
Body division, as far as I'm aware, are kind of the weird ones for me because some of the teams that I thought were gonna do well, like we've played against the Imperial Knights, I guess, org in other leagues, and they've done pretty well. They're actually a pretty solid team, or at least the one we played against was. And so I thought that they would be higher, but other than Essentia and Akuma, most of these orgs I've never even heard of. So like TFT, Glaive, Hydra, I have no idea what to expect from any of them. And the fact that one of these dark horses, like Final Boss, again, never heard of them, but they're dominating body division. So I don't really know what to make of all that.
I mean, I know Final Boss from a lot of people have been predicted to be like the #1 team in PRL. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but
It is.
like, I don't know much about them either. I watched a couple of their games. I thought they were pretty solid. You know, everyone makes mistakes, so like when they made mistakes, it's kind of like, okay, but expected. But the games they lost, I thought were kind of yikes. But I mean,
Yeah,
then
they
again,
either win cleanly or they lose bad.
yeah, and then if you watch our losses, it's kind of the same thing. Like if you watched our first loss, it was like big yikes, really bad. But
Well, you guys have 2 losses, so.
But neither one of them are the Mad City.
Oh.
true. Well, okay,
Dang.
the first loss was against Striking Vipers, which was an entirely different roster that week.
Uh-huh.
And on top of that, we came in to PRL. We came in straight up. We just like looked at their roster and we're like, we don't have to try. Like we were so confident in ourselves. We're like, let's try some new stuff. So we tried new things on our first game and we got smacked for it. So like,
Yeah, you can't try it in PRL. All these teams are decent enough to put you down when you put
when you
yourselves
try
off
something
guard.
new, yeah, exactly.
Which is
So-
nice, because a lot of these leagues you step into and it's like there is a very clear top 1 or 2 teams, and then everyone else is like maybe 3 or 4 teams struggling for 3rd place, and then all the other teams shouldn't even be there.
But like a complete struggle. Like I've seen a way worse. I mean,
yeah,
Defiance
I don't-
is the worst team, but
even then, I've seen them put up some really close games.
yeah, exactly. Like Defiance may be the worst team, but it's because okay, we're not talking about Mind, right? But I want to talk about the worst team that everyone looks at, which is Defiance. Like, no doubt, not a single win. They are the worst team. Like, if we did kind of like like show matches between them and other teams that is not related right now in PRL, they would do good. It's just my division is freaking stacked right now. So it's kind of hard for them. Like if they were anywhere else, I think they would do better. But they got their rosters, which is a pretty solid roster, and like their SmackDown isn't even all for bad. I mean, look at the other 3 that were doing good that just withdrawn from the tournament, and Defiance are still punching up on that ceiling, and they can still knock people over. Like,
yeah. For all we know, who do they play next week? Defiance plays. I'd have to check. But if Defiance plays like one of the top 3 teams, it's gonna be crazy, dude. That's all I'm saying. Like they could upset last week. Oh man, they go 2-0 this last week. Oh, it'd be insane. And they're against like Phoenix and I don't know, Phoenix and Mad. That would change the standings so much if they actually beat them.
it would. And I'm waiting for that. That's why they're sticking to it. Because there's a possibility that they can upset, and we're all waiting for something like that. Because the moment that Defiance does an upset, it's like no one has ever lost to them. So the one loss is a huge negative to whoever gets that loss from them.
Banter chat is gonna go out of its freaking mind, dude.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they were just more coordinated, because like a lot of the time they win as solo players early game, but then they just kind of it's a solo queue game after that for them.
Yeah, the macro play,
that's why they lose.
the execution to end. That's all it is. If they work on their macro and the execution to end game, Defiance will be one of the top teams easy.
Yeah, they would definitely not be last place, that's for sure. But
so a little bit going back to body division. Body division, everyone thought. Actually, no, it wasn't final boss. Everyone thought was gonna be first. Everyone thought Death Cards was gonna be first. If we go way back.
Yeah. I'm talking right now. I'm pretty sure everyone thinks Final Boss is like the best team in PRL now after they took Body Division, because a lot of people think Body Division and Mind Division are like the 2 strongest. Which I agree with. I think Mind Division currently is like the best to watch. I don't think it's like, I'm not saying that Mind Division's the best, like overall player wise. I think it's just the best to watch because it's the closest, right? Like the top 6 teams are still in playoff contentions.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like whereas you look at like of the other divisions,
we
there's
look
not
at
really.
so.
Yeah, you look at other divisions and it's like, okay, maybe they have 4 or 5 teams at best.
But one of the best teams in body though is very unfortunate. It has to be Death Cards, and I kind of wanted them to be in the top 3 teams, but their second run-in for the second round robin, it's a bit too late.
How many weeks are left in the second round robin? 1 or 2?
1 last week,
Yeah.
next week, this week.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I think this is the last week. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost in that case, almost everywhere things are pretty locked as far as like who's actually in contention.
Well, I mean, Soul Division is locked. Like, there's unless I mean, I don't think Rated R has a 2-0 on Essentia or Ignitus.
But if they do, that's wild, man.
That would be
they
that
have a
would be the only
1-1 against Katanas, but
yeah, but the only way Rated R could make it is if they have a 2-0 on Ignitus or Essentia, which I don't think they have.
they don't.
And I don't even know if they play 2 games next week. Because that division
They play against Thunder, and then they play against no one.
Yeah, so they can't. They're out. They can't make it either.
Yeah,
So Soul
no way.
Division's set.
Not yet, because Essentia Thunder, and Recon 5 Yellow, because Recon 5 Yellow are already 9-5. If Thunder somehow 0-2s it, I think actually
Wait, no, Recon 6-6. Even if they played 2 games, they'd be 8-6, which
No, dude,
nice.
looking at it right now, Recon 5, because you got to count in the
free
games they
wins.
got that were FFs from the bottom 3 teams. So Recon 5 Yellow is 9-5 right now.
Wait, what?
Their free wins hadn't been calculated yet. They'd only updated it based off the games that had been reported. So
I just did it right now. Yeah, I just did it right now. Yeah, so they're 9-5.
All I know is they were 6-6 on the stream the other day. That's why I said.
Yeah, I get it. I'm looking at. I'm trying to find it when Recon went against Essentia Thunder to see if they have a 1-1. Don't see where. I'm like totally blindsided here. On 5 Yellow. Recon. The heck? Why don't I see this? Did they play last week? No, they don't. What the heck? I'm like dodging. Oh, Recon 5 Yellow beat Essentia Thunder. So that means if Essentia Thunder somehow 0-2s, right, with Rated R playing spoiler, and with I think they go against Katana's playing spoilers. So if they do not get a win from Essentia Thunder, then Recon 5 are still in the game, except they just have to play the tiebreaker match against Thunder at the end.
Oh, so they have the 1-1 right now.
Yeah, Thunder has the 1-1 on the week. If they 0-2 on the week. If they 1-1 on the week, then we got Katanas, Thunder, and Ignitus going to playoffs.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. I like when there's more teams for contention. That makes it makes this last week like way more interesting, I think.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It does.
Because like Life Division, like we were talking about, wasn't it's not, I don't think it was the best to watch because they were like, everyone thinks they're like the worst teams or whatever, which could be huge upsets. Maybe they're not as bad as people think, but like without mixing the divisions, you can't really tell. But just based on Elo, like they're kind of the lower end of that, so everyone just thinks they're kind of bad.
Also, if Ignitus wins against Katanas in this second round robin, and because Ignitus and Akuma Katanas are kind of like closely related to their win and loss, but if Ignitus wins against Katanas, and Katanas wins against Thunder, Ignitus and Katanas are fighting for first on a tiebreaker. And if they lose against Thunder, which is Katanas, then Ignitus are first in standing. So there's still a fight for top 3 right now.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't mean like switching up the top 3 ranks, because like if you look at my division, if we go 0-2 and Mad goes 2-0 next week, they'd take the first seed spot.
Oh, they would.
Like, yeah.
Are you gonna lose a game?
I don't think so. I think we'll go 2-0 this week.
who do
2-0?
we play this week?
I think
Phoenix
we play
Rebirth and
Phoenix and-
Cetra.
Yeah, and Cetra.
Honestly, either of them could take a game, but I don't think either of them will take a game. I do think that
Dang.
I
What?
do think that Mind is definitely like Kallliii said earlier, the closest division, and I think that PR and CG on like any given day would be good enough to pick up a win against us. I just don't. I feel like the amount of prep we're putting in now, though, and the fact that there was, even if it was a small one, a gap already present, I just don't see them taking a win.
So let's
Well, I think
let's continue with Body
yeah,
Division.
let's go back. I was gonna say we can talk about Mind in a minute.
Oh,
Never mind.
Mine. Sorry. Let's continue with Mind Division all the way
No,
through.
we were talking about Body though. Unless we're done with Body.
No,
Yeah.
that was recap. That was recap of week 5. I mean week 6. So now with Body Division, I mean Mind. Damn it! I keep. Oh my gosh, Body and Mind are so close together, but they're not even close together in comparison of skill. But Mind Division, is Phoenix Rebirth gonna make it to playoffs?
I guess. I thought it
Okay.
was going to be Cetra, to be honest with you, but Cetra like hit a slump right before the or right after the end of the first round robin, and I don't think that they can hold on any longer. I think right now it's really a race between Exertion is really on the rise, Phoenix Rebirth is doing really well, and Striking Vipers is catching me off guard. I don't think Cetra has it in them anymore.
See, my thing was I've said this since like I think week 2 or 3 when we played against Phoenix Rebirth. I said that they're a top 3 team, but only if they're playing at their best. Phoenix Rebirth is like they're way too hit or miss right now. That's the problem with them. That's why they're 7-5, because I think they could have easily gone 10-2 just like us. But like the biggest problem with them is they're super inconsistent. They don't actually just like win out games and just absolutely stomp the game. Like that's what it looks like. You watch their early game and it looks like they're about to just absolutely demolish this game. And then out of nowhere they're just like, okay, now what? And it's like, wait, Phoenix Rebirth totally had this game, and then they lose. And you're like, oh my, like the game against us, for example, they were stomping us. They were like the first game on stream, maybe it was second game on stream, I don't remember. They were up like I think 5K or 6K gold on us. They were just dominating the early game, and then out of nowhere they just threw, and we just, after they hit that one throw, it just game over. We won after that. It was like, oh my god, Phoenix Rebirth, man. If they can fix up their late game or their like transition to mid game,
yeah, that's a real issue.
they would I 100% think they'd take third. But if they're playing how they've been playing, I think.
And that's
I don't know, man.
fact.
I could see Cetra, Striking Vipers, or Exertion make. I could see any of those teams making it. Honestly,
I can't see Cetra anymore, and hopefully they prove me wrong. But like I said, it feels like since the second round robin started, they've just been really falling off, and I don't know what's causing that.
Here's the big pointer thing. So Phoenix Rebirth will go against Murk Nimbus, and then their second game is against Striking Vipers. If Striking Vipers lose to Phoenix Rebirth, and if Exertion goes 2-0, then Rebirth are gonna have to go against Exertion, possibly in a tiebreaker. Let me see. No tiebreakers. So if it ends up that way, Rebirth will be the third team on that playoffs run. So the only thing is that, like you guys mentioned, I don't think the best of ones is really best for them. I think they will do absolutely better in a best of 5 format.
yeah, I think a lot of these teams are really bad at best of ones. Like personally, I think our team is really like we are absolutely terrible at best of ones. But like a big thing is that a lot of these teams aren't, like I've been saying about other divisions, I don't think a lot of these teams draft well. and then the game is just really hard for them to play because their draft is terrible.
I'll be
And
honest.
we just make the game super easy because of our drafts.
I'll be honest though. I'm not a big fan of how our team handles best of fives either. That gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I don't like
I
the
don't know what
best
you're talking
of
about.
fives.
What? Don't like the long sustain row?
Dude, every best of 5 that these guys do, they always take it to game 5. 100% of the time. And that's not me exaggerating.
That's good.
Literally 100% of the time.
It's the Nimbus curse.
Okay. To be fair, we played against in the best of fives. We've played against teams we've never played against before, so we didn't know what to expect and we didn't know how to draft. And then we fix it up towards the end, right? That's why I think we're the best. Like we're a better team at best of fives because of our drafts and like our ability to adapt. Because if I don't know anything, right? Like let's say we've never played Final Boss, right? Let's use them as an example. I think in a best of 1, if we don't know what's going on, we could easily drop that best of 1. But if like we have a best of 5, we play 1 or 2 games against them, we understand what we're doing, then our game 3, game 4, game 5, will be a lot better because we know what to expect now. We know how they're playing the map. We know what they're going to draft. We know their style of play.
Nah, I don't like that. Just be the
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, why don't you just 3-0 them? Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to take it to game 5? There's no point.
Just give me MF, dude. That's all. That's it.
MF.
Give me MF.
Let's talk about positioning from Kalllii's positioning. So
Can we please talk about Kallyii's positioning? Yes.
so Kallii and Jiggity are about the same in their positioning from what I've seen. I mean, you guys always get caught out.
That's just rude.
What?
don't know
How's
what
that
you're
rude?
Okay. Okay.
Watch the VOD.
They both get caught out often, but the difference is that when Kallii gets caught out, Kallii knows how to still output damage before he dies.
Sure.
And when Jiggity gets caught out, that's the end. It's just he becomes a really confident range minion.
Yeah. A range minion.
I don't know, dude. I played some games with Kallii and like he definitely dies, but he doesn't output damage before he dies. He just kind of.
Yeah, he's a melee minion.
I wouldn't even call him a minion, to be honest.
It's like
This
it's like a
toxicity.
scryer orb or something, blast cone.
Yeah, let's go with Scryer Orb.
That's it, Kallii. Let's take our interview elsewhere.
No, don't go.
I mean, okay, so the reason it's my positioning is a problem a lot of the time because I'm a very aggressive player, right?
Hmm?
And like it shows in my positioning, but a lot of the time we'll discuss like, oh, we want to fight here, and then I'll start the fight because for whatever reason the rest of the team didn't want to start the fight yet. And that's how I get caught out because I'm just like, yeah, let's do this. Or I'm in a side lane split pushing and it's kind of just like not paying attention. It's bad.
So this wasn't just to show throw shade at Jiggity or Kallii. It's actually most of the ADCs in my divisions that don't have good positioning. I've seen it. Everyone's seen it. Like if the top 3 teams, which is you guys with Mad and Phoenix, the AD carry side is my biggest concern because there's AD carry duels here. Let me look across the board. So actually, first of all, we think about things one at a time, right? You don't want to be thinking about the other side of the competition in the conference. You want to be thinking about your competitors that you will for surely go against. So Psychopath and Asylum, you gotta be really careful with that duel for all 3 teams here that make it to playoffs for the Mind Division. But just the Kiwi and Clancy, and I guess Atenio and Murk as well. By I guess I mean I'm not sure they changed. Is it still Atenio and Murk? I think it's still Atenio and Murk. I think the only one they changed was Ace of Tice in the mid for Nutty. So if it's Atenio and Murk, that's still a strong duel. So
Yeah, I think memes aside, I agree with you that almost all of the ADCs in PRL have like a tendency to get caught out. But I think one of the distinguishing things about it is why they're getting caught out. And some of the players and Kallii and I and the rest of Nimbus have talked about this to a relative degree. Some of them get caught out, and you can tell it's because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They're either doing a late transition, they're getting caught out trying to get deep vision for some reason by themselves. They're trying to CS past the river when their entire bot lane is gone already. Like, and that is bad. There's no getting around that. That's just bad. But then there's others who get caught out, and Jiggity is actually one of these people who they're not getting caught out because they're necessarily doing something wrong. They're getting caught out because there's like a moment of miscommunication between them and the rest of the team where they're just being overly aggressive, and the team kind of changes their mind and backs off. And it's just in mind division and body division especially, the teams are at a level where that one moment of miscommunication can be punished really well.
I've seen it. Jiggity going over to Dragon by himself. I'm pretty sure they were calling for Dragon. Jiggity's all right. Okay, I'm going in first, and I'm dead. Like, that's it. It's a bit sad to see. I mean, it's still funny from the inside, but it's a bit sad to see that. I mean, they can still come up with wins, and 2 perfect wins, by the way. Why can't you guys get perfect wins? In fact,
We're too aggressive.
yeah. Can't go
Plus-
0 with all towers down.
I mean, okay, the biggest problem with a perfect game for us, right? Our top laner will either hard carry the game or he'll int a little early on. Our jungler, I mean, he's pretty consistent, so nothing really wrong with that. He could probably have a perfect game. Our mid laner, sometimes he just like turns his mic off, so it's kind of like a coin flip if we're gonna hear him talking or not. If he's tired, sometimes he literally fell asleep during a scrim block when we were doing pick ban. So he's a sleepy boy. And then with bot lane, it's kind of like what champions we're on, right? Like if we have the Pyke, we're probably not gonna have a perfect game. And then if I'm on something that's like super aggressive, we probably still won't have the perfect game because I'm gonna overstep.
Is
I
there?
like-
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say I like how everyone has like these very specific things that are
Yeah.
wrong with them, and then it gets to Kallii, and he's like, "I don't know what to tell you. I'm the top. I'm the best of the best. If I do bad, it's not my fault. I don't know what's wrong here."
What do you mean? I just said I'd overstep. I'd be too aggressive especially if I'm an aggressive ADC.
So, can we agree or disagree that if there's a clear pathing for the top 3 for Mind Division right now?
I think the third place is kind of a coin flip, but for first and second, I think it's going to be Murk and Mad without a doubt, and then third
But-
place.
That order, yeah.
But who do you guys expect to be your third inning right now? Like by who do you
You know
think would do better? Like just completely, they gotta win their best of ones for now, right? But who do you think would do better in these best of 5s in the playoffs?
So, as far as who's probably going to get it, just because of how weird the math is for what the other teams would need to actually make third place, I think Phoenix Rebirth is obviously going to clinch that. I think as far as what teams I think would be best in a best of 5 for those like third place teams, I think it would definitely be either Cetra Gaming or Exertion Gaming. Like without a doubt. If I had to choose between the 4, to put Nimbus up against in playoffs for a best of 5 match, I would choose Striking Vipers or Phoenix Rebirth like instantly before I had to choose between either of the other 2 teams.
I think Exertion would be the best in the best of 5s, or Phoenix Rebirth, because again, Phoenix Rebirth is just like 2 hit or miss. I don't like their I don't know if it's a playstyle. I don't know what it is. I just don't like how inconsistent they are. Really, it makes me too concerned that they would maybe not show up for the first 2 games in a best of 5, and then they'd either have to reverse sweep or they're just out after game 3. So, and if they don't have strong mentals, they're just out after game 3, right? So I don't know if Phoenix Rebirth would be the best team to go through for best of 5s. I think Exertion. We've played them in best of 5s. Their best of 5 is really good. They normally adapt their drafts and like actually switch things up. So I could see Exertion being third. If they got third place and came out, they could definitely take games off of the other teams in best of fives.
What do you think, Bloodmurk?
I mean, I think Phoenix is just gonna clinch third place. I don't even think the other teams really have a chance. But I definitely agree that I don't think they would do good in a best of five, really. I think they would probably throw the first two games, and, it's kind of a coin flip what's going to happen after that.
Let's see. The week 5 that has passed, how does that feel for Mind Division right now? Was it like, is it sort of picking up, or is everyone just trying to like pack their bags and leave at this point? Like just the ones that didn't make it are like, you know what? We'll hope for a better next season.
I don't know about Rams, but I know Defiance for sure. They're definitely still trying. They came into. I think we played them this week, if I remember correctly. We played them recently. I don't know if it's this week or last week, but we played them and they were like, they were joking. They were having a good time. They were still trying, but they were like, hey guys, like, could really throw us that FF. You don't need this win. Just give us one, please. It was a good laugh, but like they still tried. Like you could tell they were still trying. But it was that whole solo queue thing again. Like they did really well early game, but then once the first couple towers fell, it was like, okay, this game's kind of over now. Like we just win. It was unfortunate, but it's if they had just a little bit more macro, they'd be a really good team.
Yeah, and I can't really speak for the other divisions too much, but that has been what it's felt like in Mind Division. Is even the teams that don't feel confident that they're going to get that third place shot are still actually showing up every week and doing their best to get wins. And in my opinion, that's kind of what separates a team that's going to do well long term from a team that's not worth investing in. Is the like, and when I say investing, I mean not worth investing time watching, not worth investing like time trying to pick up, etc. Are the teams that realize they're not going to have a good season, but decide to be like, nah, you know what, we're still going to buckle down and learn as much as we can with the games we have left so we can come back stronger. And so like if I had to pick between, I know of a couple of teams in body and life division who kind of like after week 4 or 5 just gave up and decided they're already like, we're done, we're not making playoffs, let's just show up and just cycle through the games as quickly as possible. And I would 100% like never play with those members, because people who are just going to give up like that, like they're just not going to do well in these sorts of competitions.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I think if you're already losing and if you know you're out of playoffs, why not just give it your all? Like, I don't think there's any point of just not trying. It's kind of just a waste of time for everybody.
So, with you guys, let's say, you guys stay first, right? Not gonna say it's already happened or anything.
Oh, it's already happened.
No, you guys.
That's a done deal.
You guys
I mean,
need to
yeah,
win. You guys need to win one game to be able to
Yeah.
solidify yourselves to be first, because Matt
Exactly,
City,
easy.
yeah.
Oh
So you just need to win one game. If you guys are first, and we're in playoffs mode, right? In the conferences, obviously you're gonna get 1 week off.
Mhm.
Who do you think is gonna come out of playoffs within the first qualifier round?
So before I answer that, I just want to remind you, Rye, when you did the welcoming for PRL, do you remember me stepping up and saying that there was a target on our backs that no one was going to be able to hit?
Yes, I remember
And people came up afterwards and said, "Who?" Well, I think they
Dang.
have a pretty damn good idea of who we are now. But
Yeah. Well, they
as far
know
as
they know
teams-
to hit Kallliii, right? Because he's out of position. But go for it.
See, and that's just it though. Even when they catch him out, they don't know how to win off of it. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that maybe they should get better.
Ooh.
And
No,
as
I
for
saw
teams that
something
I
on the
think,
internet.
I think teams that are going to actually come out of this strong, like I tease Mad City because they are the toughest competition in mind. But I think that they're obviously going to do really, really well in playoffs. I don't really know much about Body. I still think, I mean, I guess Final Boss is probably going to do well, but as far as other teams that I have confidence in, I think Black Jaguar Gaming is going to do way better in playoffs than they did in regular season. And I think Ignitus Esports is going to be like the best team from Seoul Division by far.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think I agree. I think Mad, because like we were talking about, Ignitus and Essentia Thunder aren't like guaranteed their spot right now. So if we're just basing it off the standings right now, like let's just assume that the top 3 teams in each division, those are the top 3. We'll just assume that.
Wait,
So
wait, wait.
Murk, because I mean, I don't really know, right? Like, let's say Jaguars don't make it. Like, do I think Gothboy Click is going to do as well as Black Jaguars if they made it to playoffs? No, I don't. I don't think Gothboy Click would do as well.
Definitely wouldn't do as well.
I'm talking about matchups. Like, who would you guys rather face after 1 week of being off in the playoffs run? Obviously, you might not face
Of the
Final
top 3
Boss.
teams,
You're gonna either go against Akuma Glaives or Essential Lightning.
I'd probably want to play Glaives just because I feel like that'd be an easier game. But I honestly don't think either of those teams would be a problem. I'd be fine with either of them.
I think Essentia would do better after game 2 or 3. I think they're kind of similar to Nimbus, where they use the first games to feel out their opponents and then adapt and try to improve as the game progresses. I think I'm not trying to like start a war with Akuma, so please don't come after me and banter after this. But I just feel like Akuma Glaives are such a team that like prioritizes trying to force and abuse early game mistakes that once it hits the mid game, they're kind of lost. And so I just don't think that against a team like Nimbus or Mad or even like Black Jaguar Gaming, as I said before, I don't think that they can play against a team that actually knows how to play the mid to late game in general.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with that. I don't think they can either.
And then, like, as far as the other divisions, like in Seoul, I think Essentia is a good org, but I'd rather play against Essentia Thunder than Ignitus. Because, like I said, going into this, I thought Ignitus was just going to dominate Seoul Division. And even though they're lower in the standings, like, best of ones are just weird like that, you know. I'm not gonna say that they're not necessarily as good of a team as I thought they would be, just because they haven't done as well in best of ones as they might have hoped that they would do. And then same with Life. Final Five. I met the owner. He seems like a nice guy. Their org seems like they're well put together. But I would take them any day of the week before I went up against Black Jaguar, because I feel like Black Jaguar is a team that doesn't necessarily have any standout players. Like, they have good players, but they don't have a player where you're like, oh yeah, if you're talking about this team, you got to think about this one guy. And because of that, they're so well-rounded that you can't really just get top ahead and then snowball, or get bot ahead and then snowball. They're going to actually fight back.
Yeah, I like teams like that. Normally when there's only one person that kind of like takes all the limelight, it's mostly like everyone else really you can abuse, you know. So you gotta leave that top guy alone though, because they try to do that with Pirate, where Pirate was praised to being like, and still is praised to being like one of the top players that plays top lane. It's kind of like it's kind of like redundant there, but he's one of the most strongest players in the top side. Thompson said he's beaten him a couple of times. That may have been off stream. I don't remember seeing that, to be honest. But it could just be to bad drafts too, because they give him Gangplank a lot of times, and he plays Renekton. So he's a good solo player, but they can't win off of him alone from Ignitus. So they got to depend on everyone else too. Body division. Let's go ahead and move over to body division on straight topics about body division. So here, will final boss stay in the number 1 seat?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to him. Like I said, body is kind of the division I've paid the least amount of attention to. But I know that Twitch chat is all about them, and so I'm just gonna have to give it to him.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stay there.
And how do you think the week went so far for body division? Is it getting better, or are we seeing any kind of decrease in not just value but in synergy between the teams here?
Like I said, it's really hard for me to speak to that. I'm not watching them probably as closely as I should be right now. But as far as like the actual games I saw, the only team I've seen play recently was Crownless, and they seemed pretty solid, especially for a 4th place team. Like as far as knowing their stuff. And so I have to assume that if the teams above them are solidly holding on to their spots, their 1st through 3rd place spots, I gotta just assume that they're at the very least closing out the season strong. I don't know if they're improving, but they're definitely still playing well enough to dominate a division that's still trying to win.
Okay, so here's another question for body division. With final boss being number 1, Essential Lightning and Akuma Glaives are holding like the number 2 or 3 spot. Who would have a really more fair qualifying like matchup against each other? It's not against each other, sorry. Against like when we go into that cross divisional like playoffs, who do you think or which games would you guys prefer to watch? Like Essential Lightning versus Mad City, or Akuma Glaze versus a Phoenix Rebirth, Cetra, Exertion, or Striking Vipers?
Oof.
Like which one would be an even more kind of closer game?
Yeah, that's tough. I think that Essential Lightning versus Mad City. I think Mad City would probably either win that 3-0 or 3-1. And so I'm not sure that's really the closeness we're looking for. But if it was like Akuma versus any of those teams you mentioned, Phoenix, Cetra, Striking, and Exertion, I think that would probably go to game 5 or close to it, because all of those teams who are fighting for 3rd place in mind right now are all very close to one another as far as like skill, understanding, and their abilities to like adapt between weeks. And Akuma they're a team that all of their teams know exactly what their win condition is. They know what their team excels at, and they try to play to that every single game. And so I feel like that would be the much better match.
I mean, kind of going off what you're saying right there, I think that'll be a crutch to a lot of teams in the playoffs. We'll just use Akuma, for example, because that's exactly who you pointed out. Any team that has like a linear playstyle, right? So like let's say Akuma Katanas, they normally play around top and mid. So they're kind of easy to beat because all you have to do is either have a stronger top and mid or play around your bot so well that your bot lane just comes out and it doesn't matter what advantage they got on the top side of the map. Or you can you can just match them, right? Just play around your top and mid and see if you can play around top and mid better than them. So I think a lot of teams that have this linear playstyle that don't really adapt from week to week or don't really adapt in scrims or whatnot, it's going to be kind of rough because
yeah, you can just scout out one game and learn how to play against it.
Yeah, because they don't want to play towards their weak side, right? Like Akuma Katanas, their bot lane is probably their weakest.
Akuma Glaives.
No, Katanas. I'm talking about Katanas.
Oh. This
I
one
think.
was talking about Glaives because that's this is
Well,
the
I just had.
Yeah, just because the question was
Yeah.
who would you rather watch, Essentia Thunder versus Mad City, or Akuma Glaives versus any of the potential third place Mind Division teams?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. I was trying to just like generalize it really quick and just kind of say that like a lot of the teams aren't like we expect some of these teams to do really well because of their standings, but realistically, like I'm trying to say that like teams that have a linear playstyle, and I was using Katanas as an example just because we played them recently, and I think their bot lane was their weakest out of all their other lanes, and they play through top and mid. So basically, what I'm saying is, if Katanas or teams like Katanas don't learn how to play through their weak side or their bot lane, that could be a crutch in these best of fives. But going back to the question you guys were talking about, I think it'd probably be better to watch Akuma Glaives versus, I think you guys said Essentia Thunder, correct?
No, they can't go against him.
Okay, who?
It's only body
Akuma
and mind
Glaives?
division. Akuma Glaives
Oh,
going
body. Okay.
against Phoenix Rebirth, Cetra, Exertion, or Striking.
Ooh. See, I'd want to see Akuma Glaives versus Phoenix Rebirth because I think Phoenix Rebirth, when it comes down to it, are better early game, but I think Akuma Glaives has a better macro. So that'd be super interesting to watch the best of five to see if one, Phoenix Rebirth could have the macro, like step up their macro game, or if we could see two, Akuma Glaives step up their early game / like lane phase.
What do you think, Bloodmurk?
I mean, I think Akuma versus Rebirth would be pretty good. I think it would definitely be like the most interesting, in my opinion. I haven't really been paying attention to Body, so I can't really say that much about him. I have kind of been sticking with Life, but yeah, I think it would be pretty interesting to see how they play.
Yeah, and I want to go to what DarkPie said that any of the teams that they go against, I think it's going to be all the way to the 5th game. It's going to depend on that. Essential Lightning going against the Mad City. There has to be a clear-cut 3-1 or 0 for sure. I'm not going to say who, because they do have a couple of strong points of Essential Lightning, but after watching Mad City, it seems like their pace is a bit faster. And Essential Lightning likes to they like to play off of those kind of fast pace. So I'm not even sure myself on that. Who is gonna beat who there? But it is pretty clear cut. I don't think we're gonna see a game 5, possibly a 3 or 4 game. But for the other ones, yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more game 5 potential in the qualifying rounds for the playoffs run. So I believe there's could be a little bit more. No, there's not. There's not more because I just sent it out, so it's unfortunate. Um, what else on the question here? So by division, um, there was what do you call it? We want to do like a little bit of top players, but you guys obviously don't pay attention too much to the by division. As you should though, because they are your only opponents in playoffs. As you should.
That is true.
Until all the way
Until the
till
finals. Yeah.
All the way
Which
to
we
finals?
are going to make the finals.
No, I actually need to get with Champ on how we're gonna do that. I'm pretty sure the way we are doing the conference is you're going against the opposition. If there's no opposition, it still I think it still crosses over regardless. We just go by the top standing versus lowest standing. So your second standing will have to go against like I guess one of your better mid division mind division teams. If it's actually body that comes out, then you guys are just like surrounded by body division teams. At that point, trying to survive the playoffs run, all the way up to semifinals. But so far this division isn't even close anymore. Like it's not even a bare question. Most of the divisions out here, it's still far fetched. Like I believe it's pretty solid on who we're gonna get. It's just the fact of who's gonna win their tiebreakers, and that's about it. But for the body division, I mean, there's no way TMT Crownless can catch up. Death Cards, they are one of the better teams, but they started winning a bit too late and got established a bit too late too. I think I was talking with them a little bit there. So, and then Imperial Knights were hyped up to being up there too, but then they lost twice, and then the hype just left the soul from there from Imperial Knights. I mean, they could still play the game. There's just no way in hell they could do a 2-0 and make it. They can only do a 2-0 and sort of spoil someone else's day. Glaive Umbro was also another hyped up team. They honestly, even I personally thought they were gonna do better, but they absolutely didn't. They fell short. But it's a 5-7. There's the and the win score and the loss score is absolutely completely different from last splits. Like we have a lot more 5s and 6s than 3s and 4s for sure. And Hydra Gaming falls very short with the 2 and 10. I'm not sure what their issues are. I don't think they're a bad team. They just have like the small issues as well, kind of like what Defiance has. And I actually want to see a Hydra Gaming versus Defiance to see who stomps who. To be honest, the underdogs, complete underdogs.
That would be a pretty good match.
And then the winner gets to play CSU Green. There you go.
Dude, perfect.
CSU Green. I think CSU Green should be going against what do you call it? The Rams first.
True. The two best teams in PRL.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with my team's performance, but then I saw CSU Green, and that kind of changed for me.
Yikes!
CSU Green is the ladder for the main roster. You'll never go against their full power.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I think CSU kind of overhyped themselves. It really hurt them. Like
Not on the broadcast. They were just out of playoff contention, so there was nothing to broadcast them about. If they were back on playoffs contention, I would love to see them more often. But the unfortunate event with them was the
the finals. They had the FFPCAS finals,
which is fine. You should take your studies and your academics, as a priority for sure.
That's not how you make it in esports.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What? You guys don't go to school?
Did they FF the second week too, or did they actually just go 0-2?
No, it was only one. It was only one, which was week 5. And
I don't know. I think CSU oversold themselves. I don't think they could make top 3 in our group, anyways.
Body division is. Yeah, and in body division, I don't think anyone oversold themselves besides the audience. Oversold themselves for Death Cards and Imperial Knights. Final boss, essentially Lightning and Akuma Glaives. Those were just like the no-brainers. But I kind of wanted to see Death Cards at the end of it. It's just not gonna happen. It's not possible.
Yeah, I wanted to see Death Cards too. After I think last week they popped off on stream, didn't they? Or was it two? They did really well.
They destroyed Final Boss. They destroyed
that's
them
what it was.
on an off stream.
I was like, wait.
What was I broadcasting?
Like 8th place or something? I didn't know what place they were. I just didn't hear about Death Cards until that game, and I was like, oh my god, this team's insane. And then I saw the standings, and I was like, that is extremely unfortunate.
Where is my site selection? Oh, here it is. Forgot it was colored, so I wasn't used to it. Who did I broadcast that week? That week I did Akuma Glaives versus Essential Lightning. That did not disappoint. Besides, the only disappointing part about that broadcast was Essential Lightning. Like they I don't know, man. Like I trust that they're a good team. I think they could have done better in that game. I mean, they still won, but I trust that they're a good team. And then they do stuff like, you know, losing to the lower teams. It changes my opinions about them, you know, or the facts that I know about them. They're supposed to be a solid organization and a solid team, and it's kind of like their Thunder team too. It's like, you know, I'm oversold on them, but at this point, it's like I don't even know what they're doing. It's not even how they play the game anymore. It's about like, are they gonna win or are they gonna lose, and you just flip a coin about that. Oh, Bloodmurk. Oh, okay. But what else do
Did
you
he?
guys think about Body Division? We got a few more minutes here for them.
Uh,
Go ahead, Kallii.
I don't know. Without seeing cross division play, it's kind of hard to like determine things, right? Like if death cards had legitimately played, or like Katana's legitimately played that show match, I think that would have been a really good showing to see how good each division actually is.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because first of all, Death Cards I don't think is a 5th place team in their division. I think they could easily be a top 3 team. It's like you said, they just started winning too late. So I think that if Katana's versus Death Cards was like an actual show match, and let's say Katana's wins, that kind of shows that the Soul division isn't as weak as some people might think, or the Body division isn't as strong as some people think, right? Like I said, I think Mind and Body are the 2 strongest divisions. Soul's the 3rd. Life is the weakest, right? But like,
Yeah.
if that show match pops up and the Katanas just absolutely smack Death Cards, okay, now I have to rearrange the perspective, right? Like, okay, maybe Body division isn't as good as they actually are. So I'm kind of sad that the show match was like a meme in a way. Like it didn't seem like anyone was taking it too serious, which kind of sucks. But then again, you know, Katanas doesn't want to leak any of their strats in playoffs. You know, they don't want to give an advantage, so maybe that's why they did it.
They might as well not broadcasted that game, man. I gave up some of my time and commitments to it. They didn't even go by the side lane that I gave them either, so I had to even do more work and and swap the teams around.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
know,
they didn't completely care about that day, but I did. I cared about that game.
no, exactly.
But
And like I said, I think some of the other teams / viewers cared. Like I personally cared because I wanted to use it to gauge how the standings of the divisions actually were,
yeah,
rather than like,
they definitely completely dodged death cards. I wanted to see either death cards were gonna smash them or, like stated before, Kuma Katash are just strong and they're gonna smash them back instead. But it
Yeah,
didn't
it's one of
happen.
those. It's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's fine to do if like everyone understands that's what you're doing. If you're
Oh
stepping
yeah.
in and you're going to just kind of like have fun with it and try out new stuff and all that for a show match, that's fine. Just make sure the people broadcasting it know.
I
But
did
if you're
not know.
stepping it, yeah. But if you're stepping in for a show game like that, and you're promising that it's going to be like an actual game broadcasted when the other actual games are going on, and then it turns into just like a fiesta. To me, that feels that doesn't even
Well,
feel like trying new stuff at that point. That feels like we don't want to get smashed by this team on stream, so we're just going to go ahead and troll.
to be honest, they didn't even promise anything, so that's fine. Like no one promised that this was gonna be a real game. Only death cards were wishing it was. You know, they were thinking that this was gonna be a real game, but there was no promises made that way. So
Right.
yeah, it didn't want to show their hands. Then they still lost. You know, you could take it and leave it as is, however you want, right? Because everyone's saying that they still lost, but it's like, yeah, they lost, but you know, it's kind of like buying a lottery ticket. And you just scratch it right there in front of the cashier. You know, oh, I lost, whatever, right? It's like nothing. You know, it's like basically nothing. It's not. It's a zero. The loss didn't mean anything. You know, because it's all about the concept of if they actually drafted or not, and they didn't because they tried to do that funnel strat like you guys mentioned before.
Yeah.
But
Just
I
like
didn't think
so-
about it that way, Kallii. I did not think about it that way, where this could have been the show match to determine strengths between divisions. And now since you told me that, I'm even more disappointed that they tried to do a funnel strat and didn't take that show match serious. So
Or so the other way we can look at this is that was them taking it seriously. That was the best they had to
No.
offer. That was the strat that they've been practicing, and that is the
Don't
strength
go that
between
way.
divisions.
Don't.
I'm just
Okay,
I don't
well-
want I don't want to just like brush it off. Maybe they really care about that strat.
Well, okay.
Okay, no.
So we need an official bye division versus Seoul. We need a best of 7, right? You know, best
least.
of 7 at
Okay.
least.
What you
Well,
guys
okay.
could do, I'm sure Essential would be down for this because it's
No,
like two
forget about Sencha.
have Essential Lightning versus Essential Thunder in a show match. this week.
boring.
No one's gonna
Yeah,
watch
no,
that.
no.
Come on, man.
Here's what we do. We're talking life versus soul, right?
No, soul versus body.
Soul
Yeah, soul.
versus body. Okay.
Body versus soul.
So
Yeah.
we'll have Akuma Katanas versus Hydra Gaming. It's the only way.
Come on, that's trolling. That's
Okay,
trolling,
you
dude.
say that, but if
Yeah.
Hydra Gaming shows up and just wipes the floor with them, then that's a
How?
huge statement.
I don't
that
think
would be-
Hydra.
Oh,
Hydra
I don't think so
struggles.
either. Yeah, I think
Oh,
Akuma
right.
would 4-0 that. But if
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I kind of believe in Hydra. I mean, if Akuma's just gonna go that boring like funnel comp, then Hydra definitely has it.
Oh,
I think it was
yeah, sure.
Okay, guys, let's be honest. They don't like Katanas didn't even understand how to funnel. They picked after Yi was picked on the other team. They went to Olaf. Like what?
They could have gone Vayne,
Man.
right?
So you're supposed after that you're supposed to go to like an actual backup funnel, which is Jax.
I was
Jax.
They don't understand. They didn't even understand like their own comp. Yeah.
I was so close to getting out of this podcast without getting angrily tagged in banter later, and now I feel like I'm just gonna get dragged for
Don't
a
worry
week.
about it. Don't worry about it. I just ignore banter, except for that one time last night. But that was about it. I just ignore banter. You know, like it's just fun
Fair,
to
fair.
kind of like lurk and watch the whole pot being stirred right now. It's so funny, but
I mean, what are they gonna say?
True.
King's
nothing.
bad.
They can't.
Nimbus is on top.
I mean-
They can't because
I mean, they still try.
they can't until we officially see a show match. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
That's
No, both parties has to come to an agreement that until we officially see a real game, right? And it's actually, you know, the other team has to admit, yeah, that was all that I got, you know. So Akuma has to admit, and so does Death Cards, because we still want to see that. They both have to admit that they went all out, you know, that they actually played the game, and just call GGs, and that's it, you know. That's
I
all we
think
want.
Akuma's scared.
That's all we want to see. That is all we want to see, you know. But right now, Soul Division, Akuma Katana's on the top. So some people don't think they deserve the top, but they're up there, so they're there. Ascension Thunder and Ignitus. I actually like. It doesn't matter who's where, right? There's only 2 teams that
Right.
want to make it to playoffs, and that's them, Thunder and
Right.
Ignitus. If Thunder doesn't make it, they honestly disappointed themselves because.
And I also don't like that argument of people not believing someone deserves to be in a certain spot. If someone's an undisputed first place team,
no,
they
don't
deserve it.
it.
Oh, true.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, you can keep going.
Oh no, that's all I was saying was like the teams that are top 3 are top 3 for a reason. Even if a team that they were up against was just having a bad day, that's just all a part of the competition. You know, it's if they capitalized on you having a bad day and turned it into a convincing win, that's on you. That's not on them for winning.
Well, I think a thing to go with that, like the fact of people saying, "Oh, they don't deserve the spot." I think it's more along the lines of like they're saying that this team isn't as good as their standing says, which could be true, right? Like anyone could come up and be like, "Yo, Murk Nimbus isn't as good as first place," Like they got
Dang.
first. They won the games. They put in the work. You know, they deserve that spot. But I don't think they're a first place team. I think that's what people are saying about Katanas, right? I think they're saying, you know, Akuma is first. They got the 10-2. They're they're the highest win rate
Mhm.
along with Park Nimbus. They're both the only 10-2 teams. So, you know, they deserve their first place spots. But Katanas isn't a first place team, right? It's like the whole we were saying Ignitus. We thought Ignitus should be first place in Soul Division
Well,
in or Essentia Thunder, right? The second and third place team. So I think that's what people are saying. They're saying like the second and third place team are better than Katanas, but since it's a best of one format, Katanas is on top, right? Like Katanas
yeah.
can do their funnel strat and cheese a game out or whatever they might do. Whereas Essentia Thunder and Ignitus, I think will do a lot better in these best of 5 formats or best of best of 3s, best of 5s, whatever
Best
it
of
may be.
fives. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think people are trying to say is that Katanas doesn't deserve first because they're a best of 1 team. They're not a best of 5 team, so they
They
won't do well in playoffs, but they'll
they
do well.
did make it fourth, so that's pretty high up in last split. So fourth place is pretty high up.
Hey, I'm just trying to interpret what other people are
Oh,
saying. Okay.
no problem, no problem. But we'll see that, man. We'll leave it all on the Rift. You know, leave it all on the Rift. Everyone has their own opinions about it. If they don't want to take criticisms that well, or any other team out there as well, I mean, then don't take them. You know, just play it. Just continue to play it the way it is. I actually cannot wait to see the playoffs run. And in fact, if Akuma Katanas have their first week off, that's all right because I want to see more of Ignitus. Anyways, right? Like between those three, I want to see more of Ignitus. I want to see how far they're gonna get into the game because all they gotta do is go against the worst division out there, which is that's themselves. Sorry. They're gonna go against the best division out there, which is the Life division, and they're gonna get trampled on, I believe, right? So Murk Blood is Murk Storm gonna get a comeback and then beat Thunder and Katanas and Ignitus.
Well, we can only hope. I mean,
What kind of laugh was that, Kallii? Dang. No hope from Kallii, dude.
every single week.
Oh, you
Dude,
guys are.
it's an emotional journey for me.
I
Never
was gonna say,
mind.
Burke just sounded so sad when he said it. He's like,
You guys are 4-8. Never mind. That's impossible.
Yeah, hey, I was gonna say they can't. They lost playoffs after week like I think it was last week or
This
not-
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's unfortunate. I don't really have anything to say except I'm disappointed, and I hope they understand that, and I hope they see the emotion and how upset I am, and I hope they think about that.
Yeah, they should think about that a lot. But going back to Soul Division, Thunder, there's a possibility that Thunder does not make playoffs because of the Recon 5 yellow controversy there. It's still a fight for the top 3, like I mentioned before when we were doing the Week 5 recap in the first segment of the podcast. The way it should be going, I mean, the only people that aren't really playing that day is Recon 5 Yellow. They don't have to. They just sit back and see if they make it or not, or they have to go with the tiebreaker. And Rated R, they still have to play. Let me see. I think they still have to play, but they play against they play against Essentia Thunder, so they can spoil the run from Essentia Thunder because Thunder just needs this one win, and then they're in the playoffs run. But if they can't get a single win, then I'm not all exactly disappointed. That's kind of the upcoming that's going on with Thunder right now, which is what I said. Like I kind of like I didn't overhype them, or I wasn't feeling too hype about them because I'm like they're a good organization. We know who they are. Look at their roster. The roster's pretty damn solid. They know how to play the game. I love their macro plays. They have really good drafts. And then they're 9-3, and I'm just sitting there like, how the heck did this happen? Like, well, how did this happen? And when did it happen? Like, when did this start going wrong for Thunder? Are they have to convince me even more that they have been losing on purpose, or I believe they did admit some mistakes going on, but like everyone's pretty much shitting on their boat because they were like the expensive yacht everyone thought it was gonna swim, and instead it's sinking into the water,
Yeah.
or float. I mean, float.
Well, I mean, something I do like about Soul Division, because we keep talking about how like Mind Division's it's not like the highest skill. I think it's, again, a lot of people say it's the best division because it's so close. It's like
No,
really
Life Division's
interesting
best
to watch.
division.
Well, okay, all right. Mind Division is second best division. Okay,
I think so, yeah.
but no, I think Soul Division honestly is, there's only 5 teams in it. There's 5 teams left in it, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like hard to like get into that division, honestly, because there's only 5 teams. But I honestly think that it's really interesting. It's another like top division to watch, just because of the fact that like the top 3 teams I think are very similar in skill level, or very like close. Like I think Ignitus, Essentia, Thunder, and Akuma Katanas, I think all 3 of them are like really interesting to watch, right? Whereas Mind Division, I think the interesting part to watch isn't actually Murk, Nimbus, and Mad City. I think the interesting thing to watch is Phoenix Rebirth, Cetra Gaming, Striking Vipers. I think it's the middle of the pack. So I think Soul Division, you watch the top 3. Mind Division, you just watch like the middle team, which I think is super interesting. And it's the same thing with Life Division, right? Like you're not watching Tempest Gaming really. You're watching like this middle pack, Goth Boy Click, Black Jaguar, Element 5, Wolfpack, like all these upset games. You're not watching to watch the top teams play it out. You're watching the middle of the pack to watch for these upset games. Whereas I think Soul Division, you're literally just watching the 3 top teams. You're not actually like, yeah, Rated R, go for the upset. Recon 5, go for the upset. You're like, come on, dude, let's see Essentia Thunder versus Katanas. Let's watch them duke it out. And it could be just because it's 5 teams, but I like how Soul Division has like a unique aspect.
They're
I
still one of the
definitely think
tougher divisions too.
Yeah. I think it is because it's only 5 teams. There's not really that many options that can upset. Kind of stuck with what you got.
I mean, Recon, we were just talking about how Recon 5 could upset, but they're not even playing, so.
Yeah, they can't do anything.
Like,
They're
unlucky. The upset, but it can upset.
It's not much of an upset anymore with Soul Division. Now it's all about the top teams playing and who gets to brag about it and banter later. And I don't know, like, I want these 3 teams to still keep going. Akuma Katanas, Essentia Thunder, and Ignitus. I want them to keep going. But at the same time, with Recon 5 Yellow not having to do anything and just watch the fireworks, go out, like, it would be really, really disappointing that Thunder doesn't make it out of this playoffs run. So they better start taking things a lot more serious. They better at least, if they're gonna have fun, at least secure your spot first. Like, come on, at least secure your spot first. Don't leave us all hanging and disappointed. We want you guys to keep floating around. We want you guys to be in playoffs contention. Recon 5 Yellow, not saying that they don't deserve it, but they got 3 free wins, so there's really nothing to spoil their run technically at the moment here. And the way they've been playing with the Soraka and Set for almost 2 weeks long, I kind of don't want to see Soraka and Set play off.
Oh, man.
I don't want to see it.
To watch. Yay!
It's not. That's like,
I know it's terrible. It's
that's like
awful.
if you could double pick Orange in the bottom, like, well, maybe that might be a little bit fun, but just run Ornn and Maokai. They look exactly the same. The animation, the abilities, they all look exactly the same. You don't believe me? Put them both together. It's like they kind of like ripped their tree bark off and it's Ornn, in disguise. But
I would actually like to see Thunder win their first game, which means they secure the spot for playoffs.
Yeah.
And then their second, because they play 2 games, right? That's what we were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so then their second game, I'd like to see them run funnel and like throw it in Katana's face and be like, this is how you run funnel.
No, I don't want to see funnel. That's a
I
throw.
I would
I-
absolutely love to see
Well,
that.
If you're willing to throw away a game, we'll do another show match. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
man, that was
mean,
hilarious.
I want to see that too.
No,
I just-
don't
I
don't
don't want to see
encourage it.
funnel. I don't want to see funnel because I hate watching funnel. I think it's super boring to watch. I think it's a terrible strat. But I just want to see someone be like, Katanas, look, guys, this is how you're supposed to run funnel. Even if they pick Yi away, this is how you run it. Or even if Yi's banned, this is how you run funnel or
Run
whatever.
a
it may
Yumi
be.
funnel.
Well, I mean, that's what they were doing. They picked what? Karma, Yumi, Tarek, Jace, Olaf. Like, what? What are you funneling? You're going to funnel an Olaf? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, sure, Olaf, the point of funnel is to get a hyper carry fed, not an early game jungler fed, right? Olaf is an early game jungler. He has really strong early. You pick Master Yi because he has a very weak early game, but his late game is absolutely disgusting.
One shot.
Or like, yeah, exactly. Once he gets super fed, it's gross. That's what funnel's about. That's why the backup for Yi is Jax, right? Because
Sure.
Jack's late game is disgusting. His early game, maybe not the best.
It's not
but
Kog'Maw or anything. Or Vayne.
yeah, you're funneling a carry. You're not funneling an early game champion. Like that, Katana's just absolutely trolled that draft.
So that's why I think they need to be taught how to funnel, and that's why I think we should see it.
No, I don't want to see that. I don't think anyone wants to see the funnel games at all.
No, I don't. I completely agree. I don't think anyone would want to watch that. It's not fun to watch. It's so boring.
But last week, coming into the week before our playoffs run, which is going to be super exciting, Akuma Katanas, I'm pretty sure, well, them and Ignites are definitely going. So I'm excited for that. It's the Thunders that I'm worried about. Thunder needs to freaking win. Needs to at least win one, Thunder. You got to win one. Everything else is already settled. There's no way Recon 5 Yellow can all of a sudden get a win out of nowhere from staff decision. They can't give an extra point because their season's already concluded since last week. Thunder, like, they better win. They freaking better win and make it. If they don't, then I'll be happy to see Recon 5 Yellow make it too. But they got to go through a tiebreaker, and then Thunder might smash or might not, because Recon 5 Yellow did smash them last time, right? In their second round of round robin. So, as little as there is in teams, they still have 3 strong, unique teams coming out from the Soul Division. And I know you guys in Mind and in Body won't be dealing with that soon, but rather than you're going to be dealing with that in the grand finals. So,
yeah. I would personally, I'd like to see Thunder go 0-2 and see the tiebreaker, just because it's a viewer standpoint. That'd be really cool to watch. But I'm like you. I completely agree with you. I think Essentia Thunder, I just want to see them make it to playoffs. So if they go 1-0, I'm not going to be upset. Or if they go 2-0, I'm not going to be upset. But like I said, if they go 0-2 and we get to see a tiebreaker, I'm all for it. But I still want Thunder to go through.
I doubt that they don't win a game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I doubt that they.
I think they just get the spot.
Yeah, I think they win their first game. Like I said, I don't know about their second game. I don't know if they're gonna try something new if they actually secure the playoff spot or what. But they're in a unique position, because if they win one game, they can do whatever they want the second game. They could practice something new. They could literally do whatever they want.
Run it down.
They could do a katana strat and try funnel.
oh my god, stop talking about funnel. What do you think, DarkPie? Are you still here with us?
He died.
No, gotcha. I have to go. Dang, you have to go? As long as he doesn't leave the call, it will ruin, and I have to reset up the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I told you so.
Okay, so life division. Let's talk about the last thing here. It might even be a little bit shorter than 2 hours, but I think that's fine. Just because
there's hours of content in life division.
It was because of Soul Division, dude. There's only 5 teams to talk about. Literally 3 now, So
yeah.
Their fault. They couldn't keep a whole 8-team division to themselves. Life division, who is not going to make playoffs? Because there's still everyone in playoffs contention that doesn't have to deal with Bloodmurk's team.
Hey
Oh,
man,
you poor man.
Honestly, I base team standings off of names, and I'll just take the blame. I don't think Murk Storm is a cool enough name, and that's why. Yeah.
Well, I kind of disagree. I think Murk Storm's more memorable than Murk Nimbus. I'm not gonna lie. I think our name is cooler just because it's like unique, but like your name is so much more like it's just easier to remember, and it's everyone says Murk. Even I say it sometimes. I'm like, yeah, our team Murk Storm. I mean Murk Nimbus.
Yeah, it's Murk Storm. That's the original. Yeah.
It just rolls off your tongue better, right?
So-
Like Murk Storm, it sounds so much better than Murk Nimbus.
So the question here is because Tempest, Final Five, Black Jaguar, and Gothboy, they do not have a solidified playoffs run yet. So that means even TPG, who's up there number 1, can actually still strike out. So, do you guys want to name a list on who's possibly going to be coming out?
Okay. Oh man, that would be interesting. So I think Gothboy Click is really good at best of ones. Actually, I said that in one of my forum posts. I made those posts you
Reddit?
asked for. No, one of the Google posts.
Oh, okay, forums,
the forum that you make and ask people for input. I said Gothboy Click could easily make it out of this group, right? Like I think they are a perfect best of one team. Their strats are really cheesy because they run assassins and they like assassins and they do it well, right? Like you can't even say they do it poorly, right? They're good at assassins, which is kind of off meta and it throws people off, which is why it's really good in best of ones. I think in a best of 5 format, Gothboy Click wouldn't do the best. I think that Tempest Gaming, Final 5, and Black Jaguar are much better to do a best of 5 format. But I would be so interested to see Final 5, Black Jaguar, and Gothboy Click come out and Tempest to not even make it out. Just because Tempest is like adamant. They're so straightforward with the fact that they're like, we are the best team in Life Division without a doubt. And then you see them play and sometimes it's super shaky. It's like, oh man, they're gonna lose this game, and they come out winning it. And it's like, whoo, if that game just like if there was just like 2 things that didn't go their way, that game's over. So I would love to see Tempest Gaming not make it. That would be hilarious.
No, I think that's the only thing that can happen is that they're not going to make it. I don't think they do.
I think Tempest Gaming comes out. I think it goes Black Jaguars 1st seed, Tempest Gaming 2nd seed, Final 5 3rd seed. I think that's how it would come out. Like realistically, if we're talking like how I think they should be standing, but like I said, I would just love to see Tempest Gaming not make it. That would be so funny.
No, I'd love to see that too. That'd actually be hilarious.
That would be very disappointing, even for me, because I expected them to make it. The only team I was not expecting to get this close was Gothboy, because
I agree.
Because they, like, as good as they are, they've been throwing their games off, like, on their own. That's why they're in the situation that they were. In fact, they went 2-0 this past week, and they didn't have any kind of run-in like that. But all of a sudden, they 2-0'd, and now they're in the runnings again. It's kind of awkward to see them up there all of a sudden, Like, especially to me, because I didn't think they were going to get up there at all. They have strong players, yes, but I'm talking about like they throw off from their macro, they give away objectives for free. Like they were doing that for the past few weeks, and now all of a sudden they like don't give an inch anymore. It's like they kind of like gave up just giving away free stuff. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny.
No, and like I said, I think I didn't expect Gothboy Click to make it out either, right? Like I said, I think the reason they're making it out, if they do, is because they're a best of one team. I think their best of one is absolutely insane. They're really good at playing assassins in these cheesy picks that work really well in a best of one. But once you get to a best of 5 format, it becomes easier to counterpick this lethality Vi, right? People
Right.
start being like, okay, give them Vi. And then they'll pick the Vi early on, and then you'll start counterpicking it. Whereas, like, I think a lot of people in these best of ones weren't respecting it early on. And he was at, like, their jungler, I think it's Daily Peach. He absolutely carries this team, it feels like, with his assassin picks. And people don't respect that. And then in these best of 5s, they'll start respecting it. They'll start, like, banning it out. Or they'll start, like, picking things that just, like, make it so assassins are useless, like Xayah. Or, these weird AD picks that make it so Vi can't do much, like Heimerdinger, stuff like that. It'll just, I think in these best of 5 formats, Gothboy Click would struggle. Black Jaguar, Final 5, Tempest Gaming would do so much better.
Like,
yeah, I think it's just kind of unfortunate that they have to. I mean, it's just true. It's just their team comps that they run isn't really good for best of 5s.
Like, check this out. TPG, they drafted an Urgot, J4, Corki, obviously it's Echidna, Syndra, and, Morgana. They drafted that against Gothboy Click's Maokai, Hecarim, Lissandra, Aphelios, which has a hell of a front line, by the way, already, with a Maokai and a Lissandra, and then a Braum. Check this out. This is what I think that is super, super weird. They went 30-7 against TPG in a 32-minute game. They took in mostly every objective, but leaving out one dragon. That's it. Like, these guys are just so random. Like, let me look at a previous game from Gothboy Click here. Let's not look at what happened last week. I want to talk about what happened last week, like Black Jaguar Gaming that they went against. They gave every single objective. They got 0 Rift Scuttles. They got 0 Barons. They got 0 Dragons. They got 0 Towers against Black Jaguar Gaming. They ran a composition with a Mordekaiser, which I believe has fallen off a little bit more in competitive play. And then Daily Peach with his Vi. And then you're running Hamlet on an Orianna, which did a perfect build. But Orianna with Vi doesn't really match well because Vi's not going tank, not going Cinderhulk, not going any other tanky items like a Gargoyle Stone Plate. He literally goes lethality Vi. You throw the ball on her, she's already dead, and then everyone has a way to jump in on the on Hamlet. And Project Eden carried that game too with the Nunu, by the way, which people were. That was the game where people were like kind of giving crap to Eden about even before he even like hit the rift. They were just giving him crap about it, like a Nunu player or a Nunu pick. Oh my gosh, that's garbage. He went 4-2-14 and did as much damage as Vi did as going damage items. Like, you know what I mean? Like Gothboy Click, they've been giving up everything all the way until this past week. They've been taking everything away. Going 2-0 was massive for them because it was very unexpected on a TPG to lose. And then they beat Final 5. That's kind of crazy. Like they took most of the dragons too. They did lose out one Baron because Final 5 are big balls on Baron plays. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. They would take a Baron like ASAP.
All 5 people alive. Yeah, they just do that 20. Let's go, boys. Baron spawned.
The only thing I gotta say for Final 5 was that they freaking drafted recommended Ezreal. I know I said on hit, but I meant like a champion that auto attacks and not spams these Qs that do nothing. Like, he did 18,000 damage. If he was on, let's see what ADCs were banned away. No ADCs were banned away besides Senna, if you count that as an ADC. So there was no Xayah pick, no Caitlyn pick if you wanted to do that route, no Varus pick, no like it was super weird, Drafting
they
an
had
Ezreal.
no way to get through that front line of the Zac Maokai really with Ezreal.
No, and Ezreal would play a lot safer too because they can close that gap between him and his arcane shifts, and arcane shift isn't a big deal for them. They actually want him to arcane shift away so they can just turn around and kill everyone else. Like he just didn't do too much. I was a little bit disappointed in that. Recommend it. I mean, don't put him on champions like that. Put him on champions that like he normally plays and you guys normally win through. You know. He's a beast, man. Recommend is a beast. But they
And
gave him Ezreal.
I also think something like I was kind of mentioning, something to look at there is the 2 wins they have. Daily Peach was playing
Assassins.
So he played Hecarim, which is kind of an assassin, and he popped off, right? He absolutely popped off. Then the next game he plays Zac, which is like it's not really something Daily Peach would do, but it's something that gets on the backline still. He plays these things that just straight up get on your backline or disrupt your solo lanes, which are if they're the carry, which Final Five picks Syndra. He pretty much was just going on Syndra every chance he got. She didn't get to play the game. And then they had Ezreal as the damage carry, which didn't work out. And then you look at the game they lost against Black Jaguar Gaming, right? They did exactly what I said. They gave him the Vi, and they picked this Xayah, which can't get touched by Vi. They picked a Syndra, which is like kind of susceptible to the Vi. But then they picked a Maokai Nunu on top of that, which are just going to... The second you go on that Syndra, since he builds lethality Vi, he's going to get one shot by this Maokai lockdown with the Xayah and then the Nunu ult or whatever it may be, right? So they picked these things around shutting down the Daily Peach later on, which in the end worked out really well. Because I think, again, Daily Peach either absolutely carries 1v9 on these assassins, or he disrupts fights well enough to create space for his mid laner and ADC to just absolutely carry. And then you look at their top laner, I think their top laner does a lot better on tank, right? Because if they have everyone else on damage, like their mid, their jungle, their ADC on damage, they need a tank somewhere else. And they should be putting it in their top lane, I think. And, he popped off on the Maokai. They put him on Maokai 2 games in a row last week, and he absolutely popped off on it. So I think it's just like people that understand Gothboy Click's playstyle will do a lot better against them. And people that don't understand what Gothboy Click is trying to do, especially in best of ones, are going to lose and drop games, and Gothboy Click are going to make it out of playoffs if that's what ends up happening. I don't know who they play next week, but whoever they play next week, they better understand how to play against Gothboy Click. Otherwise, I honestly think Gothboy Click makes it out of the playoffs. I don't want to see Gothboy Clicks make it out just because of the fact that they, again, I think they're a best of 1 team, and I don't want to watch them in a best of 5 because I don't think it would be that interesting. But you never know, because Daily Peach has been playing some other things other than these assassins, and it's been working out. So maybe they're just improving as a team as well.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of want to see them go to playoffs. I think it would be kind of interesting to see if they change anything going into them.
Who would you drop out then? Who would you not want to see?
I would. Well, Murk already said to drop out TPG, so it would be Final Five, Black Jaguar, and Gothboy.
I would be happy with that.
For me, it would have to be TPG, Final Five, and Gothboy.
You don't
so you'd rather see Black Jaguar? I want to see Black Jaguar.
I'm just saying, for Gothboy to come in, who do we kick out, right?
Yeah. Out of the top 4, who would you kick out?
Yeah, Black Jaguar.
Man,
Yeah.
I want to see Black Jaguar because
yeah, I want to see them too.
Me too.
Merciless, their bot lane, they play heavily through bot. If you look at Merciless, he's just the hard carry of that team. They try to funnel everything into him, right? They try to put him in a good spot where he can carry the game. And it tends to work out for them, which is great. But I think in a best of 5, that would be something to watch. That would be really cool to watch because it's would you camp bot? Would you just let him snowball? Like, what would other teams do to adapt to make sure that Merciless doesn't get into a spot where he can carry?
Right. And I know for a fact that as much as we want to continue to be thinking about playoffs because it's always on our minds, we're still playing around best of ones. So Gothboy Click so far, they're getting the bigger end of the stick in that playoffs run. I mean, for the playoffs run because it's still best of one. They are going against Element 5. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong team. They're going against CSU Green, and then they're
Oof,
going
that's-
against Murk Storm.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
it's up to
man. I think GVC makes it.
it's up to our boy right here, Bloodmurk, to put a stop into their chaos.
Dude,
Well,
my fate's in their hands, or
And-
their
and
fate's in my hands. My
Check
bad. My
this
bad.
out. Check this out. Tempest Gaming are going against Black Jaguar Gaming. So
well,
this
Black
is the
Jaguar
thing.
beat them last time.
Yes, that's fine, but like Gothboy Click, like they're literally in a 2-0 week, and so is
Yeah,
Final
they-
Five. Like Tempest Gaming and Black Jaguar, they're still like TPG can still fall so hard. It's gonna.
Yeah.
This is so freaking disappointing a little bit, but
I think
I can't
that's
even
actually
say-
hype. I like that. I think that's super hype.
I think if I was to choose a broadcast, I'm gonna have to go with Gothboy Click and CSU Green. By the way, for anyone that wants me to go for, you should do this game, and if it's out of the 7 p.m. Eastern game, every team needs to be notified to be switching around the hours between each other, because then otherwise it's not gonna happen. Just a side note there. But here, like, man, it's a rude awakening, Gothboy Click can still lose to Murk Storm and possibly CSU Green as well. They may be the worst teams, but
Whoa, whoa.
if you
I
look
wouldn't
at-
say
if-
they're the worst
What?
teams. Wait a minute.
come
I was
on.
going to say Merc Storm's at the bottom, but they're definitely not like at the bottom.
Sounds a bit
You know what I
biased
mean?
over here, man.
Pretty
So,
biased.
okay, they're
well,
not
I
they're
do
not the
think-
best teams.
No, I do think that Storm last week did a lot better than they had. Like, they've been improving quite a bit.
Mhm.
I still think they're like a bottom of the pack team, but they've been stepping up, right? Like last week, they definitely did a lot better than they have in the past.
Okay.
Like the Wolfpack game, it was nice to see them not get smacked.
Banger.
Yeah, it was a good game. I don't like their drafts, like I've said before. I think
Wait,
Light Division has very
did-
bad drafts.
Didn't you guys lose the
Station.
early game hard? Bloodmurk? You guys lost early game hard in that game with Wolfpack.
Did they? I thought they were winning early game.
No?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, when don't we lose early game? Let's be honest.
Let me see.
Every game, like
You
I
guys
think
were getting smacked early game.
Storm normally has a very good early game, and then they throw their lead. That's normally what happens.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. I mean,
I remember you guys were getting like smacked in the early game. The turn was mid game. Why is my phone orange?
It
Normally
was
that,
mid game, and then their Vlad became Vlad, and Wukong
oh
kind of.
yeah. Well, that's what the one thing that I don't understand with Storm is that our
Gotcha.
top laner is a Vlad main. So like, why don't we just put him on Vlad?
you mean
I
Raynak?
mean,
Like,
No, sorry.
no, weird drum.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
done.
we drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drum.
Well, okay, so it's hard to put him on that because I think your team doesn't really play weak side top, right? Like they always put the weak lane in their bot lane, like almost every game. They go for like Ezreal Yumi, Varus Raka, like these weaker lanes because the support isn't on these like hard engage things that punish early
Wait.
game, right? He's playing Yumi Soraka.
Wait,
in these
are we talking about like someone else? Let's talk about
No, you're-
every team altogether. Yeah.
Well, no, I was just talking about Murk Storm. He's
Okay, so let's leave it to the 4 teams here. You know, the ones that are gonna make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
Murk
Well,
Storm, you guys still can play massive spoiler if you get rid of 1 win off of Gothboy, because if they manage a 2-0, like there's no doubt about it. Tempest Gaming and Black Jaguar Gaming by this last week, there's no determining about them. There's no determination about them. They're both gonna be ending up with a 1-1 at the end of the week. Like they can't prevent it. Final five, for them to go 1-1 at the end of the week, it would have to be spoiled by Murk Storm again, because you guys go against them 7 p.m. Eastern, and you guys wait, and then Element 5 goes against Final 5. So only Element 5 and Murk Storm. Murk Storm right now holds a little bit of the chips here to ruin Final 5, giving them a 1-1, and Gothboy Clay giving them a 1-1 as well. But any of these teams, they could still possibly end up completely shorthanded and end up 0-2. But right now, it is just so inconvenient for Black Jaguar Gaming that they honestly have to step it up, go to 2-0, and then let's see what happens to day 2-0. Let me check. So if TPG wins 1 game, there'll be 10. And then if Black Jaguar Gaming win 1, there'll be 9, right? And then if they beat them, then there'll be 10. So
and they have head as well, so they would be the first seed as well.
So TPG will be kicked out immediately. Yeah, they should have the head-to-head. Yeah, they have the head-to-head. So if they tie up scores, TPG is just kicked out of that boat, like instantly, because Final 5 is gonna have a 10 possibly, and Black Jaguar 2, and and Gothboy Click 2. There's a possibility for them to be on a 10 score.
Well, who's Tempest playing? They play Black Jaguars and who?
They're playing. In fact, hold on. So Tempest beat Final 5 here. I don't think I'm checking it. So Tempest and Final 5, they don't have the head-to-head. If anything, I want to check to see who won between Gothboy Click and Final 5. No, I'm so wrong about immediate kick. I'm so wrong about that. Hold on. There's 2 teams that have a head-to-head better result than the other. Final 5, Gothboy 5.
Well, do Tempest play Final 5 and Black Jaguar next week?
No.
Or do they just
The only 2 of the top 4 up there that's playing next week is TPG and Black Jaguar.
Yeah. So who is Tempest playing for their second game?
Jaguar.
Or their first game then, because
they're going against I think CSU Green.
CSU Green. Okay, so
no, against Wolfpack, which still possible loss.
Yeah. So if Tempest lose to Black Jaguar, but they win against Wolfpack, they still could be in. But if they lose both, it pretty much comes down to how Final 5, Black Jaguar, and Gothboy Click go. Because if they all win out, like let's say Final 5, Black Jaguar, and Gothboy all win, and Tempest Gaming goes 0-2 next week, like if they lose to Wolfpack and Black Jaguar, they don't make it out. Because they'd be 9-5, whereas the other teams would be 10-4. They would just be straight up out if they lost both games and the other teams won all their games. Which is possible because Gothboy plays Murk in CSU, Final 5 plays Element in Wolfpack, I believe. Yeah. And then Black Jaguar plays Tempest Gaming and I think Element 5, E5.
Yeah, E5.
So, I mean, that's pretty interesting to watch, honestly. Like, Life Division might be the worst division, but this final week is going to be insane and fun to watch.
You're such a Mind Division bias, man. You're such a
No.
mind division bias.
I mean, I said it before. I think we have to play cross division.
Does he sound a bit biased to you, Bloodmurk?
It's
A little bit
hey,
biased.
A
body
little
division could be the best. That's all I'm saying, right?
Oh,
It just
body
comes-
division could be the best.
I don't think anyone's saying that mind division is necessarily the best, but I do think we're all agreeing that life division is definitely the worst.
Oh, 100% is what I
We're
completely agree.
50-50 on this, dude. Me and Bloodmurk don't believe that, man.
I kind of believe it, to be honest.
All right.
Whoa,
I'm one
you're-
against you, three of you.
Your team's in there. You can't be like this.
I can be like this, dude. I
Okay,
can be like this.
a little bit on the conclusions, but also a little bit of the honorary mentions here. So I want to mention some of the players that did really good. First of all, Murk and Nimbus, you guys are so lucky that Boone carried your sorry butts in your
100%.
game against Mad City. Yes, 100%.
Whoa.
What?
Let me say something about that. Okay, because people
With
keep
Boone?
saying no with the Mad City game. This is
Oh.
what happened. Early game, I absolutely carried the team. But then it was
Okay.
like the midway point. It was like, all right, Boone, thanks for the carry, man. Boone just hard carried the
Okay.
late game.
Okay.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it
You
from
can't-
another perspective of
you can't hand
better sugar
over-
wins.
You can't be the third runner on a relay and hand a baton to your first runner. You can't do that. Like, you're a third runner, dude. You gotta wait for your chance. But then at the end of the day, Boone actually just ran all 4 laps by himself without passing it over because he didn't have to, right? And everyone loved him for it.
I mean, realistically, Boone plays on all 5 of our computers. Let's be honest. So
dude, Boone did extremely well, man. He actually flipped. The reason why I want to give him a big props there was because there was one game where you guys should have won the team fight, but it was like super messy. I don't know what happened. It was at the Dragon. It was so chaotic. It was super messy. Like, you guys ended up going even, but it was Dragon Soul Point. You know, the Soul Point was very important. And then you guys ended up dying, right? Kallliii was dead, so definitely the Mr. Carry can't carry if he's in the gray screen. And then Boone, you know, he didn't have to put on big boy pants. He already had his Huggies on and everything. He was ready to go.
yeah,
And-
and then he just
And then he gets he would have got a triple, but Mr. Fury's doctor, you know, he ulted the last guy, so a little bit of
Yeah.
KSing there, but you know what? It got the job done. You guys got your Soul Dragon. You guys were very happy, and then it helped you guys out.
Yeah,
Impale.
Boone carried that fight.
Impale did really, really good. We've always loved Impale. He replaced Rob on the top side for Mad City. Impale has been doing great. Unreformed from the side of Phoenix Rebirth. He's been doing really great as well. Unreformed is the I want to say support, but it's Cryo. Actually, maybe Unreformed is actually on the wrong team here that I just mentioned. No, Unreformed is the carry. Sorry about that. Is the carry. So Unreformed did really well. For body division, I am Javi. Javi has done always so good for final boss. Let's not agree to disagree here. He's so consistently well in the jungle department here. Diesel on the top. I actually have Diesel over Tonzel between the two Essentia teams, in case you guys were wondering. J-Web, I'm not sure about that one. And then, Merciless. Who can agree with Merciless here?
I mean, like I was saying earlier, Merciless absolutely carries Black Jaguar because they play around him. He carries because his team enables him, not because he's like the best player alive, but because his team makes sure he's in a spot to carry.
Like,
It's kind of it's like the same. I think it's a very similar with me.
yeah.
I don't think I have a hard carry, right? I do carry games if I get put in a position to, but like that means my team's enabling me.
Like, if I
Also
had
going
to name 3 top ADCs in the life division, it would be Merciless, Vark, and Recommended.
Yeah, I agree. Merciless, 100%.
What?
You can't throw my boy Fark under the bus like that.
What?
No, I've said it before. I think Vark's
What?
good.
Mark carries your team, man.
I think his Ezreal is
Mark?
pretty
So
insane.
Mark carries the team now, but I will say the old mid laner, Zach R.
Oh
he
my
was, I think,
god!
What
single
happened to
best
Zach R?
player in Life Division.
Oh crap!
Zach had some personal stuff he had to deal with. He couldn't continue to play anymore.
We only saw him like play twice, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
Kind of going back a little bit to your Javi point of final boss.
Okay.
He's insane. Completely agree. I would be super interested to see drops versus Javi, like my Murk Nimbus jungler,
Mhm.
because I think drops enables our team. Like he is very like support heavy, if that makes sense. Like he
Makes
doesn't
sense.
care if he carries the game. He will absolutely just be like, all right, I'm playing Ivern. We're making sure bot lane gets ahead. Or all right, I'm playing Zach and I'm camping mid. Boone, you're gonna carry this game, or whatever it may be. Or he camps top, etc. Like he just makes sure that like we're in a spot to carry the game. And I think Javi does the same thing. Like he's like, I'm gonna enable you guys. I'm gonna play J4 and I'm gonna make sure that like you guys get ahead early.
Conclusions, guys. So I already did the honorable mentions of the players that did really good. I don't remember too much on the Mind Division, Body, and Soul as much, especially Soul, since there's like very few teams, so it's really hard to see an overall performance. But conclusions, guys, like Live
There's only two
Division.
teams that you should worry about, and it's Murk Nimbus and Murk Storm. The rest of them, I don't even. Who are they?
Oh my gosh. How about you, Kallii? What's your conclusion?
I think it's pretty much the same as the last couple weeks have been. You know, I think Mind Division is the best division to watch. Not saying they're the best teams. They're just the most interesting to watch because of how close it is. I think Body Division has some insane players. I would have loved to see Death Cards and Katanas actually go at it to kind of get a better feel of how the groups stand together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe there is a show match this week that does show like a skill comparison.
No, there isn't any.
Well, you know what? That makes me mad. I think Soul Division, when it comes to playoffs, Ignitus and Thunder will do really well. I don't know how Katanas will do, because again, I think their playstyle is very predictable and easy to shut down. And then I think Life Division, they are so coin flip. I think they're bad teams, but I think they could do some major upsets.
How about
especially
you?
Depending on the teams that come out.
How about you, DarkPie? If you're still with us.
My conclusion as to how I think things are going to turn out for each
Next
division.
week. Yeah, for
next
week. Yeah.
I think, I mean, obviously Nimbus is pretty locked in. Mad is locked in. So Mind is like, there really aren't too many big questions left other than that third. I'm really excited just to see how Life can turn out, because that can still flip with their second and third place a lot, and how Body turns out, because I feel like as much as I want to see Soul do well, I'm kind of it's hard to get too invested into the division with that many dropouts, because there's just so many free wins and thrown in there that it's so hard to gauge where these teams are actually at. So yeah, I'm gonna say that Body and Life are the two I'm most excited to watch.
My conclusions for this week is, yeah, I feel like the top 3 teams for both Mind and Body are a bit more solidified than any other team, or a bit more, kind of stuck on there. For Soul Division, Essentia Thunder, this is all up to you guys. You guys just got to win one game. Stop losing games. I hate that you guys are losing games. Stop losing games, Essentia. Oh, in a whole org all together, Lightning and Thunder. Stop throwing games away. Let's go. Let's get it. Life Division. There's 4 of you. You guys got to decide who's going, all right? So decide already. TPG, be careful. They could still knock you down. For Final Five, Black Jaguar and Gothboy Click, you guys too. I wish you all good luck on the Life Division. I know we won't see a lot of that head-to-head matchup just as much as the Soul Division is gonna have for this last week. Soul Division actually has the hardest week, to be honest, even because of all the free wins that's going around. But for Life Division, it's gonna be a hell of a week for you guys. For Mind and Body, I think you guys have it a little bit easier. But it's pretty much not yet, at least for the top teams, right? A little bit easier for the top teams. A little bit, more try hard for the bottom, for the third team. And yeah, I mean, with that, thank you guys so much. From both the owner, right? DarkPie is the owner. Did I get that right?
DarkPie and Murk. Murk is the owner. I'm the co-owner. I'm below him.
Co-owner. Okay, so
Yeah.
you are the
It's like if there's like the owner of the company and then the CEO of the company. I'm the CEO, but I'm not he's the big shot.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Big
Of
shot,
course,
baby.
big shot. Most important, most valuable player on Murk Esports right here.
Oh man.
Bloodmurk. Do you even play Bloodmurk? Because there's no
Oh
name.
yeah.
You do? What's your person's name? Your IGN.
Bloodmurk. I don't play in PRL, but
Oh,
I
okay.
with my own team.
He might be though in that new PRL thing y'all are.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're a
And we're
gold
gonna win.
player? You're a gold player?
Yes,
No
yes.
way!
Plat. You
Yo!
don't know.
Yeah,
Gold
dude.
or plat. Either or.
What are you talking about?
Okay, actually, isn't
Okay,
he
I'm
silver?
at, I'm at okay. So
In the
I don't
novice
think
league.
rank necessarily defines who you are.
Of course, I
I
know.
might be silver right now, but I feel personally that I play to a challenger level.
I got
Like I'm
you.
not even.
I
Like,
got you.
In my games, I carry my team, and they
Like-
really respect me.
It's kind of like an Olympic swimmer and a regular swimmer, right? An Olympic swimmer, if he cramps up, you're gonna beat him in that race,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I
So
know like all the people I know they're not gonna listen to this in the league that I'm in, but they're
They
all
will.
trash. They're so bad. Like
well,
yeah.
it kind of ruins the
pretty
whole
sad.
podcast.
Yeah,
Gonna have to
anyways,
delete it
yeah.
all, but yeah, dude. Novice League, since you guys mentioned it, Novice League, we want a whole wait list. We want to be, it's filling up quick, so make sure you get your teams in there. Novice League is gonna be pretty hype. Like, I can't wait for it. I'm gonna be the main caster, and I'm still gonna be producing it. We can't get anyone else like me. I wish we could make my life a little bit easier, but yeah, I'm gonna be in that novice league a lot as a caster and as a staff member. We're gonna build another community. We're gonna try to aim for as big as this one. Academy League has a pretty big community, a lot of line of supporters, trustworthy people, and like a lot of great community members like Noob Fragger, Haha Funny Man, Jasper George, not even just shouting out the sponsors, but they literally put in an extra handout for us. They're putting in extra support by just helping out on a monthly basis. Rogue Energy is up there, but it's kind of like a commission base. If people use the PRO Rogue, if they don't, I don't know. I think you guys should just get the 10% off anyways, right? 10% off. That removes the taxes, I believe, right? 8% is tax. It removes the taxes. All right. As I was saying, DarkPie, thank you so much at DarkPie10. Bloodmurk at Murk Blood. Kallliii.
That's incorrect, by the way.
What is it? Why?
Yeah, it's supposed to be blood_Murk.
Are you sure? I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check on your Twitter later.
Yeah.
Were you trying to tell me that before? Because I don't try to move anyways. But at blood_Murk, make sure you guys follow him as well. At Kallliii gaming_gaming.
It's me, dude.
I know it's you, dude. Thank you guys so much. It's been fun. It's been a ride. We got the 2 hours in. I forgot to put up the forms. I thought I kind of did, but it was all a dream last night when I fell asleep. But I got the forms out, so I can't wait to hear from the great community again. Last week, week 7. I mean, good luck to you guys. Good luck to you all. I know Bloodmurk, your run's kind of over, but you guys can still play it off anyways. Yeah, thank you all so much. You guys have a good one. We'll go ahead and end it out, and we'll see you all this week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget about it. Starting off with the Mind Division too. I'm not sure if we're gonna watch any of your games, Kallii, because I think we want to see the middle pack so far. One last
Well,
time.
we play Cetra, so that wouldn't be a
then
bad
we
game.
have to see it. Yeah, then we have to see it.
We play Phoenix Rebirth and Cetra, I'm pretty sure.
All right. Then we have to see those. All right. Take care, guys. Bye to everyone. And we'll see y'all Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget about our Twitter at Phoenix Rising NA. You'll find out if you go to my Twitter at Real Mighty Rye. I'm not trying to plug my Twitter. If you guys want to follow me, that's okay. But please support the organization, and support the volunteers here that are with me today. Thank you guys so much. That will be the end of this podcast, episode 4. And we'll see you guys that week.